In the chaotic aftermath of Rome's fall, Europe was fractured, its people divided by tribal wars and a lack of central authority. Amid this turmoil, a king and a pope forged a secret pact that would redefine the continent. Charlemagne and Pope Leo III united political and spiritual power, creating a new order that would shape medieval Europe. How did their alliance lead to the birth of an empire and forever alter the balance between the church and state? Let's explore this pivotal chapter in history. By the 8th century, Europe was a fragmented collection of warring tribes and kingdoms, a far cry from the unity once maintained by the Roman Empire. The collapse of centralized power had left the continent vulnerable to invasions and internal discord. The Catholic Church, one of the few institutions to survive Rome's fall, struggled to maintain its authority and protect its territories, particularly against the aggressive Lombards in Italy. For both the church and emerging rulers like Charlemagne, the instability presented both challenges and opportunities. Charlemagne, crowned king of the Franks in 768 CE, had inherited a divided kingdom but possessed the vision and determination to expand his power. His early campaigns focused on consolidating Frankish territories and subduing rebellious tribes. Charlemagne quickly established himself as a formidable military leader, demonstrating his ability to unite desperate factions under a single, centralized rule. However, to achieve his grand vision of a unified Christian empire, he needed more than military might. He needed the church's blessing to legitimize his authority. For Pope Leo III, the situation was equally precarious. The Lombards, who had sought to dominate Italy, posed a direct threat to the Papal States. The Byzantine Empire, which traditionally protected the Pope, had grown increasingly distant and unreliable due to internal struggles and external pressures. Without a powerful ally, the papacy risked being overrun. The Church also needed a strong political figure to reinforce its spiritual authority across Europe, especially as pagan tribes and rival factions challenged its influence. The foundation for an alliance between the Franks and the papacy had already been laid during the reign of Pepin the Short, Charlemagne's father, who had previously defended the Papal States. However, Charlemagne's ambition went far beyond his father's. He envisioned not just defending the Christendom, but uniting it under a single empire with the Church at its heart. Charlemagne and Pope Leo III recognized their shared goals. The Pope needed a protector, and Charlemagne needed the divine legitimacy the Church could provide. This mutual dependence set the stage for a partnership that would not only secure their individual positions, but also redefine the political and religious landscape of all of Europe. Their alliance was born from necessity, but would become a turning point in European history. The alliance between Charlemagne and Pope III was built on mutual need, but its implications reached far beyond their lifetimes. This partnership was carefully negotiated in secrecy, with both leaders understanding their delicate balance of power is required. It would culminate in a dramatic and symbolic event that reshaped political and religious order of medieval Europe. The Pact's foundation was laid in 799 CE when Pope Leo III found himself in dire straits. Facing accusations of corruption and moral misconduct from Roman nobles, the Pope's position was severely threatened. A violent attack by his opponents left Leo humiliated and imprisoned. He managed to escape and sought refuge in Charlemagne's court, pleading for protection. Recognizing an opportunity to strengthen his own authority, Charlemagne agreed to intervene, offering military and political support to restore the Pope to power. Charlemagne traveled to Rome in 800 CE to personally oversee the resolution of Leo's troubles. His presence not only quelled opposition, but also demonstrated his role as defender of the Church. Behind closed doors, Charlemagne and Leo struck a deal. In exchange for Charlemagne's protection, Leo would grant the Frankish king a new title and elevate his authority across Europe. The climax of this alliance came on Christmas Day 800 CE in St. Peter's Basilica. During a solemn ceremony, Pope Leo III crowned Charlemagne as the Holy Roman Emperor, an act that revived the imperial tradition in Western Europe. The title was steeped in symbolism, linking Charlemagne to the glory of ancient Rome and positioning him as the protector of the Christendom. The coronation, though monumental, was not without controversy. The Byzantine Empire, which still regarded itself as the rightful heir to the Roman legacy, viewed Charlemagne's new title as a challenge to its authority. The act also raised questions about the balance of power between the church and state. By crowning Charlemagne, the Pope asserted his ability to grant divine legitimacy to rulers, reinforcing the church's influence over political matters. Despite the complexities, the alliance between Charlemagne and Leo III marked the beginning of a new era. It established a model of cooperation between secular and religious authorities, with the church offering spiritual validation and the state providing military and administrative support. This partnership created the foundation of the Holy Roman Empire and set a precedent for the intertwined relationship between the church and state that would shape European history for centuries. The alliance between Charlemagne and Pope Leo III profoundly altered the political and religious landscape of medieval Europe. Their partnership forged a new relationship between secular and spiritual power, establishing a model that would define European governance for centuries. The crowning of Charlemagne as Holy Roman Emperor on Christmas Day 800 CE was not just a symbolic act, it was the foundation of a new order that united politics, religion, and culture. One of the most immediate impacts of the alliance was the elevation of the papacy's authority. By crowning Charlemagne, Pope Leo III positioned the church as the ultimate source of legitimacy for secular rulers. This act demonstrated that kings and emperors could not claim divine authority without the church's blessing. The pope became kingmaker, and this strengthened the papacy's role as a central player in European politics. This newfound influence allowed the church to extend its reach across Charlemagne's vast empire, creating a unified religious framework for the region. For Charlemagne, the alliance legitimized his rule and strengthened his ability to govern. As Holy Roman Emperor, Charlemagne's authority was seen as divinely sanctioned, giving him the moral and political clout to unify a fragmented Europe. This divine endorsement helped him consolidate power over diverse peoples within his empire, from the Franks to the Lombards to the newly Christianized Saxons. The title of Holy Roman Emperor not only gave Charlemagne a connection to Rome's imperial legacy, but also reinforced his position as a protector of the Christendom. The alliance also had profound implications for the governance of Europe. With the church's support, Charlemagne introduced reforms that strengthened his empire's administrative and judicial systems. He standardized laws across his territories, blending local customs with principles rooted in Christian teachings. His use of missi dominici, royal agents who traveled across Europe to enforce laws and ensure loyalty, was backed by the church's moral authority, making his governance more effective and cohesive. Another critical impact of the alliance was the creation of the Holy Roman Empire, a political entity that would endure in various forms for over 1,000 years. While Charlemagne's empire fragmented after his death, the idea of a Christian empire united under a divinely sanctioned ruler persisted. This concept became a cornerstone of medieval European identity, influencing political structures and fostering a shared sense of cultural and religious unity. The partnership between Charlemagne and the Pope also drove the spread of Christianity throughout Europe. Charlemagne's military campaigns to convert pagan tribes, such as the Saxons, were bolstered by the church's support. New bishoprics, monasteries, churches were established, ensuring that Christianity became deeply entrenched in European society. By merging political power with religious authority, the alliance between Charlemagne and Pope Leo III laid the foundation for a more unified and stable Europe. This partnership not only shaped medieval governance, but also ensured that the church would remain a dominant force in European history for centuries to come. The alliance between Charlemagne and Pope Leo III set a precedent that defined a balance of power between church and state in medieval Europe. While their partnerships established a unified Christian empire and a new political order, it also sowed the seeds for future conflicts and power struggles that would shape Europe. One of the most significant long-term effects was a shift in the papacy's role. By crowning Charlemagne as the Holy Roman Empire, Pope Leo III elevated the church's authority, establishing the idea that the Pope held power to grant legitimacy to secular rulers. This precedent gave the papacy immense influence over European politics, but it also created tensions. Later monarchs and emperors would challenge the Pope's authority, leading to conflicts such as the investiture controversy in the 11th century, where kings and popes clashed over who held the right to appoint bishops and wield ultimate power. For secular rulers, Charlemagne's coronation set the stage for the fusion of political and religious authority. The idea of the Holy Roman Emperor as both a defender of Christendom and a ruler with divine legitimacy became a central part to European governance. However, this dual role created challenges, as emperors were often caught between the demands of political leadership and their obligations to the church. The tensions between the church and state would persist through the medieval period. The alliance also influenced the development of feudalism, as Charlemagne's governance relied on land grants and loyalty from local lords to maintain control over his vast empire. This system, rooted in mutual obligations, became the backbone of medieval society, intertwining political, economic, and religious hierarchies. Culturally, the alliance helped solidify the Carolingian Renaissance, which preserved classical knowledge and laid intellectual groundwork for later periods like the High Middle Ages and the Renaissance. Charlemagne's collaboration with the church in fostering education, art, and religious reform ensured that Christianity became the defining cultural and spiritual force in Europe. While the Holy Roman Empire fragmented after Charlemagne's death, the legacy of his partnership with Pope Leo III endured. It influenced the structure of European monarchies, the role of the church in politics, and the very identity of medieval Christendom. The alliance not only shaped their era, but also set the course for centuries of European history, leaving a legacy that echoes into the modern world.